wealth creation enthusiast with a passion for helping individuals and corporate organizations build their personal and corporate net worth via investing in the stock market. And I'm excited to be back again. It's Wednesday, the 25th of March, 2026. We're here again to see what opportunities lay before our very eyes so we can pounce on them as always. Thank you very much for joining from wherever you are. As usual, you know how we do it. This is Network Investors Club. Happy to share our experiences and our knowledge with as many as are interested in growing their network via investing in the capital markets. Once again, we do it every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Nigerian time. So from wherever you are, it's good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to you. And I'm so excited to be back. I hope you are. We are live on all platforms right now, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, and YouTube. And so I'd like you to, from whatsoever platforms you are connected from, go ahead and start liking, keep sharing from the beginning of the live stream until the end. This is our global live stream that happens 3 times every week. We are back again. Network Investors Club is a group of investors made up of Nigerians in Nigeria and in the diaspora, and of course, some foreigners, numbering about 6,800 right now and still counting. I'm so sorry if I've not been able to admit you into the group, but just stay focused, stay tenacious, and let's keep going. As usual, I will go ahead to visit what happened in the review of price and market activities yesterday on the NGX, and then we proceed to taking your comment. But before then, please be informed, the stock market is not a get-rich-quick scheme. However, every time it tries to empower and enrich us quickly, we are happy to accept it wholeheartedly. So we proceed to review of trading activities as it panned out yesterday. With a 10% gain, telecoms company Airtel led the NGX rebound, boosting the value of equity portfolios yesterday according to trading data. Equity investors recouped 1.09 trillion naira from 1.38 trillion lost to sell-offs on the NGX at the beginning of the week. And the local bonds rebounded strongly. Nigerian equities rebounded with the all-share index climbing 0.85% to close at 200,705.88 points. The barraging on Taunton lifted the year-to-date return to 28.98% as the market cap rose by 1.09 trillion naira to settle at 128.84 trillion naira. Market breadth held favorable at 1.6 times, with 36 advancers, which were led by Airtel Africa, Cornhall, John Holt, Legend Internet, and Zichis, outpacing 23 decliners, where NPF Microfinance Bank, Royal X, CWG, Veritas Cap, and UBDC boasted the sharpest losses. Leading the gainers were John Holt, Cornhall, Airtel, and Legend, all gaining 10% each. Activities increased with total volume reaching 1.29 billion shares and total value settling at 65.33 billion naira. However, the total deals declined to 89,949 deals compared to the last trading session when 848 million shares valued at 53.34 billion naira were exchanged in 139,458 deals. GT led both the volume and value charts with 184.38 million units and 19.39 billion naira in trade. Sectoral performance was broadly positive, with insurance climbing 2.14%, commodities 0.64%, consumer goods 0.53%, banking 0.5%, industrial and oil and gas all closing in the green. Ladies and gents, that will be all for the review of trading activities as it panned out yesterday. Is the market still going green today on the back of yesterday's galloping run? We will find out in the course of this live stream. Please, before we continue, let me inform us, Maobi is my co-host today. He will also be moderating and helping to respond to some of your questions on the comments across board. Rehoboth is also involved, and Of course, Dr. Be Rich. Everyone is alert. Mr. Luke is also on standby as we see how we can deal with as many questions as possible. But please be informed, every view expressed in this live stream are entirely mine and should not be construed to be financial advice. So please do your due diligence. Whatever I say, take with a pinch of salt. Always do your due diligence so that we can make progress together. Ladies and gentlemen, we are off to a flying start at the moment. Let's do it together. Off to YouTube. Olowola Fe Olowola Fe. Good morning to you, Kende Akinawo, Charles Nan Chipen, Semeka Olua Sheyi Adegoke, Atis Endurance. Thank you very much for joining on YouTube. Olayemi Ajayi, I see you there. Kende Akinawo, appreciate you. Very good morning to you. We are making mind-blowing money, he says, this year. Chira, Bright Hills, Joel Omoboriowo, Sonny Ode Akintoye. I salute you all. Very good afternoon to you. Chinezere Modu says, Coach, good afternoon. I have 500,000 naira. Where do I dump it? We have fantastic investors here. They don't care about frivolous things anymore. They invest because tomorrow has to be brighter than today, no matter where we are. So where to invest? 500,000 naira. Give me a chance to log in and let's see what the market is saying. We have an idea of what may look like a good deal and what doesn't. So I will go through and be able to advise accordingly. Off I go to logging in to the dashboard in order to view trading activities live and direct from the stock market. Okay, so 500,000 naira. UBA is looking still attractive at 47 naira 75 kobo per share right now. You may want to go UBA, or if we go through the growth sector, I'm looking for TIP. Okay, it's around 20 naira now. If you can wait patiently to pick up at 19 and maybe 1990 or 1995, that will also be a good one for your 500,000 naira. But if you want to go the penny way, the best option I would be looking at will be the likes of tantalizers, of course. But I mean, for now, just stay off some of these pennies. If it's not a 1 million shares challenge as we have it in this club, then you want to look for other opportunities to grow that money. I'm looking for a stock like May and Baker. Let's see how much it is. Every time you see May and Baker at around 37, just stay patient. There's nothing to rush about it. They're not declaring anything fantastic. But every time you see it around 37 and under, that will be a good time to buy. There's no rushing anymore. The excitement is all over. It's now time to keep your feet on the ground and do your due diligence and invest wisely. All right, that will be that. We go on to Instagram. You know how we do it. Please, because the screen scroll automatically, what you can do is always find a way to copy your questions or comments to clipboard so you can keep pasting and pasting until I'm able to see it, so that we can respond to as many questions as possible. But before we continue, let me also remind us, up to you to keep sharing this live stream so you can reach out to many other people and let them also be a part of what we are doing. If you love what you are benefiting from this group, be a good-hearted fellow Nigerian, share to as many as possible so they also can be a part of what we are enjoying together. Morning, Coach. This is Tayo from TikTok. Tayo, it's good to have you all the way from TikTok, now on Instagram. Morning, Coach. I have 10 million. Please, when can I invest? Do you mean when or where? Well, there is no best time. Just like we are anticipating that markdowns will happen for some stocks between April and May following dividend declarations, we must also be aware that between now and that time, interest might build up and raise the prices so that by the time they mark down, even post markdown, it may not come back to the current price of this moment. So many eventualities in the market. No one can time the market. That's why I always say there's no best time to buy a stock, but best price at every given moment. So what's the current available stocks you can deploy 10 million into? I would say a maximum of 7 stocks you should expend 10 million into and not over diversify. Otherwise, 5 stocks. And RDL, the chief of them all at the moment. Then we have custodian. If it can come down to 70 and below, we are seeing it now around 72 naira, which looks interesting at the moment. And that's because there are 2.8 million offers versus 495,000 bids. So keep an eye on custodian. From 70 and below will be a good entry for the long term. And then, of course, we also have PZ down there. PZ looks like another appealing one if it hasn't gone beyond 76. Currently 76, and PZ's movement seems to be gradual. It used to lay around 73 and 72 after pulling back from the 78 it got to, or 79. So it's looking like PZ may not stay long around 75, 76 anymore. So you want to quickly complete your transactions, because I see it trying to now find its way back to that 79 point again. So PZ is one good one to take for now. And then, of course, there's also the likes of Vitafoam. That's for the long term, though. So you may want to keep your eyes on Vitafoam under 110. Not bad entry, especially now that the bids are far less. 128,000 bids versus 1.7 million. That's talking about Vitafoam. There is still life in that stock, but time is all we need to unravel much of what is available in that stock. Okay, and then of course UBA has to be added. Looks pretty attractive at the current 47 naira 70 kobo per share. Never ever tired of mentioning that one until it gets away from that under 50 range. And then of course you can add tip at 19 plus, just under 20, but if you like 20 and below. So 10 million well spent. You climb your bed, go to bed and sleep, and hope for a fantastic harvest in the near term. Good morning, Coach Uche White, Bola Kale Shurun. I greet you all on Facebook. And Yekon Benson says, hi, Coach, you're looking smart. Please talk about penny stocks like Charms. Will it pick up around the ember months? We do not know when these things will rise. Actually, towards the ember months, especially the last 2 ember months of every year, stock price is deep, but you never know what happens between now and then. Remember, Charms has a case against the FG that they won that could amount to some billions of naira being paid to them as winning compensation, and that could boost their revenue flow. By the way, we are in election season where they handle all sorts of things. They are the ones who handle most of the BVAS machines, voters card, and all of those electioneering materials. And then, of course, apart from government contracts, Charms is a major, I would say, major service provider to MTN, the giant. And so you never know what we are toying with at just 4 naira per share, talking about Charms. I'm in that Charms boat. I'm quietly and patiently waiting. And if you are interested, my Charms is still doing me about, is it 100+% or so? I'll check and revert to you. Of course, my Charms, after the public offer, after the rights issue added to my initial entries, and all of them eventually averaged out, my average entry price for Charms stands at just under 2 naira per share, if I'm not mistaken. Where at Dow Charms, that's it, 1 naira 88 kobo. That's my average entry price for Charms, and I'm not even flinching. And if we look at today's price, we are talking about over 100% plus in price movement already. And yet I'm not moved. In case you want to know how many charms I have, I can also reveal to you 2.6 million charms. Very small, nothing to celebrate about, but you never know what that becomes when charms begins to hit double digits. Sometimes we need to let you know these things so you don't begin to panic like a stranger. Let the daily price zigzag movement of the price volatility happen, no problems. But in the long stretch, already I'm at 100% and I'm not yet shaking. So what's your problem with worrying about charms if you are worried at this point? Thank you very much, Alated King. I appreciate you there for repeatedly sharing the live stream. Good morning, coach. What do you think about Honeywell? Should I hold or sell? Nourish to flourish. Honeywell, for me, I left that boss since last year because it made me a lot of money from around 4 naira or 5 naira thereabouts to about 20 something naira, sold and got into other opportunities. And that's what this thing is all about, you know. So we keep moving, we keep making progress. Excuse me. All right, coach, what's happening with TPO? We bought around November, December 2025. Yes, no information yet, but anything can happen anytime soon. No worries at all. Okay. I heard that they may also take excess applications, and if they do, that means they will require further approval beyond what they got approval to offer to the public. So that could also be a reason they are not quickly forthcoming with the final outcome. Hello, coach. What of Julius Berger Ababio? Well, I shared with us in the Discord group that was on Monday that I took position. I took a fresh position in Julius Berger at 260 naira per share. It's a long-term position though, and anyone who is interested, do your due diligence. I'm sorry. Do your due diligence and make sure you are convicted before you invest. Have your own conviction before you invest. For me, Julius Berger's numbers are looking interesting, and I'm not even done yet. I'm just trying to be patient to see whether it ever comes down a bit again, because you never know, while you are looking at a prospect, someone who has held it for long may be impatient and decide to sell. And that's what I am waiting for. Currently at 284 naira per share, there are 1 million bids versus 538,000 offers. This is a Julius Berger that was on full offer. We know how these things play out. When they are on full offer is when to find a way to start buying, especially if you realize they have begun to get little offers here and there. That's the time to take position. And then before you know it, offers suddenly, bids suddenly are now more than offers for Julius Berger. We'll wait to see how this progresses from here. Anyway, let's make progress. Coach, what can you say about VetBank, VetGoods, and VetInd? You are talking about ETFs. That's coming from Zika-O. I have seen that some of those ETFs are running. It will be good to recheck what their net asset value is before going in on any ETF. Honestly, they may be looking very attractive and worth watching, because suddenly the entire ETF market is green. Everywhere is looking green and interesting. Okay, I'll just give you a little bit of snapshot. VetBank, currently 31 naira 41 kobo, up from the 28 naira 56 kobo per unit it's sold for, and 13 million naira have been traded already. But if you want to do a quick glance, 52 weeks low for VetBank was 11 naira 45 kobo. 52 weeks high is 43 naira 52 kobo. So trading at 31.41, still below the 52 weeks high, which tells you a little bit of margin of safety for this one. The next thing is to take time to do your research to find out what the net asset value is, whether it is trading above it. for further security. Then the other one, vet goods. Vet goods is currently at 75 naira 86, up from the 68 naira 97 it closed yesterday. And the 52 weeks high is showing 98 naira 23 kobo. So at 75.86 still looks way below the 52 weeks high, which could also offer some level of margin of safety for this one. And the 52 weeks low is 18. I always love to buy at the 52 weeks low. Unfortunately, nobody can ever tell where and when the 52 weeks low happens. So you just pay attention and take position gradually. But it's looking attractive because they look like these two are trading under their 52 weeks low. Then we also have VET index. VET index, let's see what that is trading at. Currently 139 naira, up from the 127 naira it closed yesterday, and very far from the 52 weeks high of 279 naira. However, VSB bond ETF is the one that looks very, very attractive to me right now. 52 weeks high is 2,950, currently just 374 naira. But that is not the final determinant when you want to invest in ETFs. That is one step to know whether you are overpaying. But the most important thing is the net asset value. That's my take on that. So we proceed to TikTok. Let's hear your comments on TikTok. Don't shy away. Keep coming. Chinwendu Ijoma says, good afternoon, coach. We missed you. Ijoma, I missed you all as well. Joyce, good afternoon to you too, coach. Please, any news about our tip public offer? Elegance, no news. We are patiently waiting. How do I join the Discord group? Hafos, please send a DM on Instagram. I'm still working on getting that Instagram account managed so that inquiries can be responded to much faster. Charles Brain says, coach, good morning. Please talk about Link Ashore. All right, we go on to the equities board where I can locate Link Ashore and have a word about that one. One of the penny insurance stocks. That's it right there. Slightly up from the 164 to 168 per share. Talking about 1.68 kobo per share. Even though the bids are less than the offers. 4.8 million bids, 6.9 million offers. But it still decides that it will stay on the gaining side. We'll wait to see how long it goes. Not much to say, but if I am to check what the financials looks like, maybe I should be able to say whether they are profit making. By the way, insurance players are reminded of the deadline to their recapitalization. I read over the news today that this insurance recapitalization deadline will not be moved. Link Insure is actually profitable, 22 kobo per share earnings. That's really good for a 1 naira stock. The problem is the market really doesn't rate them, most of these penny insurance stocks yet. Otherwise, compared to some of these other stocks in other sectors, some of the penny insurance stocks are doing very well. Thanks, coach. Amarillo says, because of you, I'm building an app to monitor and analyze Nigerian stocks. Thanks a lot. Amarillo, that'll be great. When you're done, let's be able to share and see how it goes. Okay? Nice one there. Please, what's the cost of buy selling shares on NGX? I don't understand. Kevin Callow on Facebook is asking the cost of buying and selling shares on NGX. Are you asking as an investor or you are asking as a potential market operator? I have no idea now how to respond to you, but let me just guess that you are asking as an investor. Very simple. All you need to do is register with a broker, then find out how much their brokerage fees are per transaction. Good afternoon, sir. It ranges from between 0.4% per transaction to 2%. Some brokers charge that high. Good afternoon, sir. Please, what's the process of getting my dividends paid in Yodu Apan? If you registered with a good broker, that's enough. Omoye Ohiku, good morning to you, madam. Wedum Bianu, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Sopuru Yunan, says you are doing a great job. Talk more on ETFs. Well, I've just spoken about ETFs as inquired on Instagram. Francis Bassi said, good morning, coach. Please, I have 1 million to invest right now. Which stocks should I invest in now? I was looking at Presco and MTN, but I don't know if the right time to go in. My mindset is mid-term to long-term plan. Thank you. If your mind tells you MTN or what's the other one now? MTN or Presco, right? I think it's a good time to buy the both of them because they are just in the process of a pullback, and it's looking like for Presco, it's already jumping above the initial pullback. So Presco, 1,950 naira is still available. Remember, it's coming from a moment around 2,300 before now. Okay, so and then for MTN, we all see how we jumped in at 704 and 705. Some people even got in at 701, 709. Well, MTN is at 718 now. Like I was saying, it looks like that heavy seller is still in the market and is offloading, but I think the quantity is now reducing. When this seller is done, then expect a little bit of scarcity of that stock so that from that moment it flies. Salah says, coach, will the NGX 143 shares reflect on my bamboo portfolio? Well, I don't know if it will. It should reflect, in my opinion. It is your due and should reflect. So since I don't use bamboo, I can't tell how previous bonus shares were allotted for users on that platform. In any case, if you are in this live stream on TikTok and you received any form of bonus shares on your Bamboo app from any other company, please indicate so we can be able to share that information as well. Coach, I have Zenith, Jai, Sterling Bank, Dank Sugar, UAC, and M Benefits portfolio of 8 million. And I have 3 million to deploy. Christian, Ilo, so what's your question? You are looking like you're almost overspread in banks, especially small banks. With all due respect to Sterling, I would say maybe you shed that one and try to create some level of defense for your portfolio. Then for the 3 million, you shouldn't miss out in getting yourself some PZ and maybe some WAPCO when it pulls back. So WAPCO has the characteristic of pulling back after a major surge. So it's now trying to pull back from 229, dropping to 227 today at the moment. 235,000 bids versus 3.2 million offers, which tells you the price is going to be going down for a stock like WAPCO. It may pull back all the way to 220 or even under, and then dilly-dally there for another while before it makes any future surge. And that future surge may come as a result of perhaps a strong first quarter result, which is expected towards the end of next month. We watch to see how it all pans out. Okay? All right. Silent Footsteps says, good morning, coach. Any news about UPDC REIT? Because price has been dropping. Now let's go on to UPDC REIT. Every time price drops for any stock I'm holding in volume, I am excited to go back in. Well, UPDC REIT is still at around 715. A lot of us bought at 715. Around 7. Some bought at 690, and then some actually bought around that 8 and 9 that it got to. Part of the reasons why I always advise that we never chase any flying stock. You just don't know. It will always find a way to come back. Well, we stay patient as we watch to see developments regarding these ones. Don't relent, keep liking, keep sharing, while also repeatedly reposting your comments. Coach, please, I have a sister that is about to start and she has 50,000 to invest. What should she buy? Thank you, Coach. Saima, because she is about to start, I would say she could go in and buy a stock like 50,000. Let's see what that where that perfectly fits. If not, at least 1,000 UBA, okay? Because UBA is at 47 Naira plus now. So 1,000 will be like 47,000 plus. Otherwise, she goes for a stock like TIP, 20 Naira per share. In which case you can buy more than 2,000 TIP. If not, depending on how old she is, then we can go all the way to the pennies and then try to take position in a stock like either mutual benefits or take position in tantalizers. Okay? Keep the comments coming in as we progress from here. We go over now to YouTube to see what comments we can take. George David says, good morning, coach. Is MTN a good buy at current market price? I still would say yes, because MTN is now trying to consolidate above 700 from where it will go back above 800. Remember, it has done 800 twice and got pushed back. Those who understand technical analysis know that the next move will be to try to push through again that 800 plus mark and begin to find a way to stay up there. So what it's trying to do below the 800 is now gather enough momentum. New buyers are coming in, a lot of transactions going on, so much volume already traded at around that 700 plus. So those people will now build up and be the ones who will never sell at 700. And then from there, anything comes up to push the price. In any case, anticipate a blowout performance regarding their first quarter result. That's what I think. MTN will come out with something fantastic. When we say blowout, what we mean is much more better performance than their first quarter 2025. That's what I'm expecting from MTN, and their first quarter result 2026 should be coming out towards the end of next month. So keep your eyes on that one. For me, in the medium to long term, MTN is a 1,000 Naira stock, and it will get there before our very eyes. Okay, coach, with the current run on PZ and custodian, which would you invest 1 million in currently? Silent Footsteps is asking. Wow. Well, that's a tricky one. Both of them about the same price, hovering around the same price, moving about the same pace from 40 something to now 70 something. It could just go for either. The only reason why I would tilt towards PZ is because their full year result is still not, it's not yet time. Their calendar year ends May 31st, unlike most others that closes December 31st. So while interest is in the December 31st companies whose dividends are now being announced and all that, PZ will now come out and most likely do a solo run when eyes are off the others. So there's a chance that PZ could hit 100 Naira before custodian. In any case, custodian has great value for it to also touch maybe 90 Naira. But again, you know, the financial services sector, it can be held back and all that. But this custodian has refused because it continues to grow. In fact, you would be mistaken to call it custodian insurance because they already changed their names to custodian investments. It's such a financial conglomerate that they are one of the two consortium companies that bought FBN Quest from First Bank. So custodian is another man-mountain only being discovered by the market lately. So that's my take on the boat. Coach, can I sell off? Oh, I missed that one now. Can I sell off my Fidelity and get in custodian? Aleshi Loye Lekon. Depends on you. You are the CEO of your portfolio. I've said it before regarding Fidelity. We would want to see what the full year result and perhaps the first quarter result is. And that's the way I'm expecting some of these companies who have not released their full year result to perform. RDL will eventually also publish their full year and first quarter results. I expect the same for Fidelity and any other ones that have not. Okay? So, all right. Coach, okay, I've responded to that. Another prophecy on MTN, just like a prophecy on another day when it was 525 last year. Okay, some people have ears for the prophecy, right? Interesting stuff there. So we move on from here. Let's see how it goes. Good afternoon, Coach. Iyunade Onabolujo. Good afternoon to you. Okpeyemi says, good morning, Coach. Please, I have 1 million to invest. Please give me stocks to buy. We want to create a system where you can make up your mind on what to buy when you listen up and see opportunities. Sometimes it is purely based on the available opportunities in the market that I advise on what to buy. So I hope that we understand this and maximize the potentials available for us. Okay? So as we keep growing and keep going, 1 million naira, where to invest? If you know me, I never chase after any flying stock. I just look away because eventually the stock finds its way back and picks me up at my bus stop. So I'm trying to see 1 million naira. While we're still talking, PZ is now climbing back 77 naira at the moment. We don't know how this turns out, but that's 6 million bids. Says a whole lot in terms of statement and intent of the bidders. Dangote Sugar still looks okay at 71 naira. Put that 1 million in tip. I don't know where else to put 1 million at the moment other than a company like Tip. Tip, 20 naira plus, not bad for long-term investment of 1 million. Tip will also come out with a fantastic first quarter result, but there'll be a little bit of dilution issues you will see following the public offer and rights issue. Maybe all of that is also part of why there is a delay in allotment, because they need to get approval for the extra allotments that they may want to add, extra subscriptions that they may want to add to the original offer. And then from there on, they now can be able to calculate the shares outstanding. Understand this, so that when their first quarter result is being published, they now integrate whatever was approved and accepted as the new number of shares outstanding to calculate what their earnings per share will be and all of that, and all other per share metrics. Coach, please, what's your take on this, Zichis and John Holt? As far as I'm concerned, one of the criteria you use to invest in any company is the transparency and integrity of the leadership and management of the company. The behavior of Zichis doesn't tell me to trust that system. You've heard, I shared with us the other day, I think on Friday, Zichis was suspended as a result of the continuous rise of the stock price, even with very little offer in the market, consistent 100,000 transactions done, and the price kept gaining 10% for 3 straight weeks or almost a month. Then it got suspended. While under suspension and trying to find their way to, comply or serve their suspension, they went ahead to announce a bonus of 1-for-1 and a dividend with qualification date backdated already. So you do not even qualify for that bonus. And that means, as we speak now, from 600 million shares, they now have 1.2 billion shares in circulation as shares outstanding. Now, suddenly we hear the suspension has been lifted. Even the way the suspension was lifted by the NGX, the announcement announcing the suspension does not even show that any kind of punishment has been served. No information whatsoever, just that we should be informed the suspension on Zichis has been lifted, transactions or trading can now continue. And after suspension, we are back to everyday 10% gain. As I speak to you now, I'm looking at it. Zichis has moved from 10 naira 37 yesterday. It was on full bid on Monday, moved from 9 naira something to 10.37. Now it's moved from 10.37 to 11.40. No offer in the market. 30.5 million bids. And this will also do another 10% today. 2 million shares has been traded. Don't know who is trading that, but whoever has GGs, just enjoy the ride while it lasts. For me, it's not worth dying for. I'd rather look for companies that are, transparent enough, have proven themselves in the market, and then invest my money. Even Legend Internet. Now, let me give you updates. Legend Internet is going to be merging with SpectraNet. Proposed merger of Legend and SpectraNet. The Nigerian exchange has already been informed, and shareholders of Legend Internet, that they are trying to merge with SpectraNet, and they are now seeking regulatory approval. It is subject to the approval of the relevant regulatory authorities, and if they obtain the required approval, the completion is anticipated to be done second quarter of this year, meaning the next 3 months, this merger will happen. More details of the scheme of merger will be revealed so that we know what that merger will lead to in terms of number of shares outstanding for the new entity. And of course, they will eventually decide to go and raise capital. That's always the case. To raise capital and then further dilution of the shares, then of course use the capital raised to expand the business. Okay, all right. Keep your comments coming in, but be informed at 1 p.m. Nigerian time, we will proceed to taking your calls on TikTok. Your voice is not very clear. That's Chukuma Wankwo on YouTube. Okay, maybe I should shout louder, but just bear with me. Coach, please, what's your take on Seplat? Well, they've squeezed the juice in Seplat, and I do not know if there's any more money to be made seeing the stock price at 9,000 naira. But whether or not the company is a solid one, no doubt at all. Seplat is a juggernaut and will keep making money for shareholders. Like I shared on my social media handle over the weekend or over the long holidays, Seplat intends to offload 1 billion naira $1 billion in dividend payouts to shareholders of the company between now and 2032 or so, the next 5 years. Okay. Uche White, yes, he spoke about John Holt, asked about John Holt. Well, I saw John Holt running to recover what it used to sell for, and I have also been wondering, is there any new thing happening regarding John Holt? Well, I will check to see. At least what I remember is that John Holt is not a loss maker. John Holt is actually looking interesting. They earn 1.28 naira per share. It once rose to as high as, was it 14 or so? And I noticed it pulled back, and now it's trying to get back up there. I think there may be some undercurrents going on behind the scene for John Holt that is responsible for the rise. Yes, it initially rose to 15 or 14 something, but as we speak right now, John Holt has hit a new 52 weeks high. Right now, yesterday it closed at 14.30. Today it's at 15 naira 70 kobo, and that's a new 52 weeks high. This was a John Holt with a 52 weeks low of 4 naira 90 kobo. Shares outstanding for John Holt is 389 million shares, so very few shares outstanding. Okay, so that could be another attraction for that stock. Coach, please, is Charms a good stock to go into? Chidima, Charms has been begging for attention under 4 naira for long, but it looks like it's going back to 4 naira and trying to stay up there. It's a good long-term penny stock to hold. If it has made its way to our 1 million challenge list, then very good stock to buy long-term. Sabi Charlie says penny stock for beginners. Penny stock for beginners. You want to add Magnicos, Tantalizers, Mutual Benefits Assurance, Charms, Qtix. Those are all penny stocks for beginners. Please confirm that Instagram sound is back, because I don't understand the new information I'm getting right here now that there's no sound on Instagram. Hello, Instagram family. Please confirm that sound is restored. Good afternoon, coach. I have 17 million. Please recommend 2 stocks I can invest in for 2 years. That's coming from, why is there no audio? Maybe I should log off and log back in, okay? Oh, can you hear me now? Spicy Shady Cake says yes, back now. All right. So 17 million naira, 2 stocks straight away without mincing words. Number 1, Bitter Glass. Go in there, collect that stock well enough. Number 2, 2 years. Number 2, MTN. Collect enough. That's enough. 2 years, 2 stocks, 17 million. Done. Veritas coach, please, your analysis. Well, Veritas needs time, and it's fighting for its life to get out of that 2 naira per share hole. It's not easy. We saw it climb very far earlier this year to 3 naira, but since after then it's collapsed back to around 2 naira 5 and 2 naira 10. Currently 2 naira 10. Very, very liquid stock, therefore always in excess supply whenever it tries to climb up to close to 3 naira per share. 20 million bids now versus 6.5 million offers, and that's why it has moved from 2 naira 5 kobo to 2 naira 14 kobo. So another opportunity to rise higher for Veritas after dropping that low. Aside from Seplat, I'm looking at purchasing M Benefits, Okomo Oil, John Holt, and MTN. Is it wise? I love the distribution that has Okomo and MTN in it. Just do proper capital allocation, and that will be a wise move. That's my response to that Edo boy, Ebizi. Ababio says, hello, coach. What's your take on Wema Bank? Wema, solid, anytime, any day, good to hold long term. However, I announced this Wema around 18, and most of us got it, even though I didn't buy, because not everything I mentioned here is an opportunity I'm able to buy as well. If you are in the stock market, you know that you can't always have money to invest. So the idea is, even when I'm not able to capitalize on an opportunity, I can share with you and you participate. For instance, we all capitalized on the MTN opportunity at 704. Even yesterday it dropped to 701 and closed at 701, but now it's at 719. We are now only just waiting for that major seller to be done. He has done up to 1.1 billion share sale right now, and it's looking like the offers will begin to fade away. It used to be more than 1 million shares on offer, but now it's 849,000 shares on offer. And it's looking like this seller is determined not to sell below 700, because that will not be a good price. But who knows? Maybe he bought at 500 or even 300 or 400, and so can then afford to sell down all the way from 800 to 701, which is closed yesterday. So it's looking like there's a huge support above 7 that it's trying to establish. And after all these sales, nobody's going to sell again, because I mean, we are now at the 700. Everybody bought it at 700. There's no panic, no tension. And then we see what first quarter result holds by the time they announce it next month. In 11 minutes, we'll be taking calls on TikTok. So keep your comments coming in on all fronts. Please, Instagram, I want to be sure that the sound is restored. Hi, coach. What do you think? To top up on the Qtix, Conhol, M Benefits. Fete, if you are looking at topping up because they are lower in price, that will be good. Good move. Because, you know, these opportunities will come and look normal and almost look as though you shouldn't bother yourself, it's not going nowhere, and then suddenly, boom, it takes off. So before the chance disappears, it will be good for you to just take position. You are doing a long term, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you take your time. Whenever you have the chance to build on any of these stocks, go ahead, take position. Hi, coach, Vita Former Custodian, Yinka Gold, Both of them fantastic for 2027. Vitafoam is the one that has not really run too much. Now let's see what the charts looks like for Vitafoam, because this is the time to now begin to watch to see and not get carried away by sentiments. The likes of Custodian has done a good run, still has some value in it, but how about Vitafoam that has been ignored because it did a bonus and dividend declaration? Let's see what the year-to-date performance in terms of price action for Vitafoam has been, because that could just swing the pendulum this way. Wow, Vitafoam has done 53% year-to-date. That's amazing already. Are you kidding me? Oh, Vitafoam was as low as 70-something naira in January. Why am I feeling like it's always been at over 100 for so long? Well, 53% in the last year-to-date. I mean, year-to-date 53%, but in the last 1 month it's down 5%. Okay, so this is what makes it look very interesting. But if you look at Custodian, that is the one that has really run. Remember, Vitafoam, we've seen 53%. Let's see what Custodian has done year-to-date. Year-to-date, 82%, and that's where the difference is. So this one has really run, but that's not how to even determine what to buy. In the end, the two of them are solid, and you can actually buy any one. But what price is the question? Will Vitafoam ever come down below 100 before any further move? I do not think it will come below 100 if it doesn't go below that until they announce their first quarter results. Uche White says, Coach, please one more time your take on Premier Paints. Premier Paints, let's see. I don't do sentiments, even if some of these companies are sentimental. You know, the fact that Cap ran, the chief of all paints, on the NGX is at 92 naira now. Beja Paints followed, climbed to 70 something, and then you will then find sympathy plays talking about the others, Meyer also rising, and then Premier Paints. So let's see what Premier Paints is doing in terms of price action at the moment. Premier Paints is at 31, up from 28. The question is, what is the numbers like? And a quick glance tells me the end 2 kobo per share. 2 kobo only. But you know what? Shares outstanding is a mere 123 million. So few. Perhaps this is why they are running that high, because it will be easy to eventually increase the share capital and so on. But for me, I don't care about any other thing than the safety of your investments, which is that it eventually is solid enough, profitable enough to create value that will propel the stock price in the future. RSI for Premier is already 100, so it's overbought. And when it's overbought, the next thing is there could be signs that it will begin to pull back, so that you don't become a victim in the crossfire of the pullback. It's currently on full bid, by the way. 2 million shares bidded for 0 offers. Halima says, good afternoon, please. What do you think about Sterling Bank? That one continues to crawl as it likes, and then decides whenever it wants to do a solo run. That's the way Sterling behaves. It can even frustrate you. In any case, at 785, it hasn't done much, and so feels a bit safe. See it. I'll see what this year-to-date performance is for Sterling, and then you can tell what I mean. While other banks have been running and making moves, even FCMB, that is always stagnated, has been making some good moves. Look at that. Year-to-date, Sterling has done just 6%. You can imagine the frustration of holders of Sterling Bank. So, but you know what? It can just decide and take off in one very moment and climb to like maybe 10 naira, especially knowing the fact that even Jai's Bank has left the penny stock stage. Even FCMB that lingered at 10 naira, 9 naira for God knows how long, has left that penny stock stage. So Sterling could just be the next one, but they will frustrate, they will tire you out. So you've got to be Yakubu and manage. It will feel as if you are going to die, but you will not die. Is that clear? Is that clear? All right. We go on to Facebook this time. Coach, please, what's happening with UPDC REIT? Nothing is happening. Donald Ngam, the market is happening. And it will take time for it to show working. All we need is a good performance and report in the first quarter, and then we'll see changes. Good day, Coach. Thank you for what you are doing for us. Please talk about SFS REIT stock. IFI Vintus, it's not a stock, it's an ETF. And like I said, all ETFs are running at the moment. I saw it earlier and shared with us. Even SFS REIT is now running as well. Oh, sorry. SFS REIT, it's a real estate investment trust. It's in fact, the REIT sector is reddish. All three, SFS REIT, Union Homes REIT, and UPDC REIT, they are all down. Okay. Okay, let's go on to YouTube right now, sir. What of Wema Bank and NGX Group and BUA still buy Dangote? Nathaniel for life. Amongst these three that you have mentioned, NGX Group has to be the profitable one because it's pulling back today, and so you can do well to take because particularly of the impending bonus shares that are coming for that stock. Eleutan says, good morning, Coach. Please, what do you think about eTransact? Something keeps telling me eTransact could just do a surprise move, but I have nothing to prove that. But it keeps making some upward moves, then it will slow down and stay in one place for a moment, and then climb again, and then stay at one spot for a moment like that. I don't know if some of you can be that patient if you are interested in such a stock. So that's the characteristic of eTransact that I've seen. It's now 22 naira 95 kobo. This eTransact that used to be 5 naira and 6 naira. Can you beat that? In fact, I'll share this with you now. eTransact used to be 5 naira. I'm not mistaken. I'm not making this up. I'll share with us now. You will see that within the last 1 year, there was a time it traded at just 5 naira, and silently it's just been going. That's it right there. I'll share the screen. You will see that eTransact was selling as low as 5 naira in the last 1 year. Just watch and see. That's it right there. If you are on YouTube, you can see my screen right now. eTransact 23 naira currently, but check 1 year ago it was selling for how much? 5 naira 75. In fact, it sold as low as 5.25 exactly 1 year ago, 25th of March 2025. eTransact was selling at 5 naira 25 kobo. Guess what? It's now 23 naira, making a whopping 338% gain. eTransact. And you begin to wonder what's going on. It's not like they have a fantastic earnings. I don't know what's triggering eTransact's performance, but it's just been doing a slow and steady movement, and it's worthy of note. So within 1 year, even if they're just earning 32 kobo per share, they're already that high. Now, can you compare that with a stock like CWG? You see that? CWG has something better than eTransact. CWG is currently at 20 naira, but they are earning over 2 naira per share. They just declared dividend 70 kobo, and yet e-Transact is selling at 21. So you just can't really decipher. You can't really predict these outcomes. Even in terms of shares outstanding, e-Transact has 9 billion shares. Perhaps that's why their earnings per share is lower, whereas CWG has just 2.5 billion shares. And remember, CWG is also a major customer to MTN. So a whole lot going on with these two. So for me, even if e-Transact has just been flying in the last 1 year, I would rather stick with a CWG and see how that pays off later on. Okay? But it's been having a good run. No one can deny it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take the calls on TikTok. And I'm going to be very fast with this so that I cancel out every mistaken call and save us time. Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're streaming from. Go ahead. We're listening. Your name is what?
Double E. I'm streaming from Enugu.
Double E. Don't make me sound like Odumeje. Your name is what? Go ahead. Double E from Enugu.
Yes.
Go ahead with your comments. What's your question and comments? Double E, are you there?
My network is bad.
Okay. Her network is bad, so let's pardon her and proceed. Fabulous. Next caller. I'm going to be taking random callers and see which one connects so we can save time. In any case, I've not left you, so I'll continue with your comments as well. Coach, what stocks? Oh, I missed that. What stocks can I buy with 300K right now? Fits by Tutu. 300K by tip. Coach, what's your take on Fidelity? And it's been on 19 naira for the longest time. Absolutely. Very correct. Kosi Oluoha. Right now, my take is that we wait to see what the full year result and the first quarter result is. That's what I expect them to, announce at once. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Okay. Best way to deal with mistaken calls is to get them off. All right. Fatima Omo Arewa on Facebook says, good morning, coach. Can I sell my fitting and Boa cement? If you are in profit and you didn't buy for long term, why not? As long as you are selling to take position in something even better, with better prospects. Go ahead. Sesan Olabige says, coach, what's happening to Access? Nothing is happening to Access. The market is just being frustrated with that stock following the poor dividend that keeps being declared. So they are not sure now whether to stay in there and expect a better performance, and nobody is sure what to expect. Coach, what do you think the release date of TPO? No one knows. I can't lie to you. So I've taken off 3 callers. Anyone that enters first, we get to hear from you. Hello, good afternoon. The one with a noisy background is put off. Next caller. I wanted to hear from you regarding the subject matter. Abumere Omijie, what subject matter? Good day, coach. Please, can you let us know your take on UPDC REITs having BLS status on NGX? Is this a concern? Not a concern at all. Phase here says, I have 2 million naira. Which equity ETF can I invest in? Is it a good time to get into Stanbic ETF? No, I haven't done my research on ETFs and can't really advise. Sir, what of Wema Bank and NGS Group and BUA or still buy Dangote? Good morning, sir. Please, coach, what do you think about e-transact? I've responded to all of that. Asomta Ndoka says, good afternoon, coach. Talk about Nigerian breweries, the most undervalued. Really? What's your criteria for the undervaluation you propose or you suppose? Please, if you called in, just listen up and then let's talk. Trying to follow the queue to make sure it's first come, first served basis. MTN, 720 naira per share at the moment. Coach, this is Tayo. You asked me to send you a DM here. I did severally. The guy with 80,000. Tayo, please, can you... I don't know how else to do it. I looked for... I don't know. Your username on Instagram is not Tayo, right? Okay. It's not Tayo. Exactly. Ayawore. Ayawora. These are the... Okay, Media House. All right, do another message again because I kept looking for Tayo everywhere. I went to General, I went to the other one. I couldn't find Tayo. So something Media House. Someone's alarm is ringing. Hello, good afternoon. Oizimede, are you there? TikTok can do better and just, instead of letting unsolicited calls go through. Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're streaming from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Nigeria.
What's the name, sir?
My name is Fabulous.
Fabulous. Thanks for joining. Go ahead.
Thank you, Coach, and thank you for wanting to as well. Just a quick one, please. Yeah. I just want to ask, what's the difference between? I know Airtel is around 2,000 plus now, and MCA is like 700 something as today. So, but I knew that MTN network is much stronger than Airtel. Is Airtel into something else different from MTN? Because of the price range, that's what I'm asking.
Airtel doesn't have to be into anything different. By the way, your question is a very good one. Intelligent means you are really observing and making comparisons sector by sector. But the obvious difference between them, which is making the price difference so huge, is the number of shares outstanding. I remember when they both came public, MTN offered much more shares. And that leads to a whole lot of dilution. Right? And if you check for MTN, you will find they have 20.97 billion shares outstanding. while Airtel has a mere 3.76 billion shares. So by the time you distribute the per share, the profit after tax to the number of shares existing, you will find Airtel earns 211 naira per share, while MTN earns 53 naira per share. That's the main reason why. You understand now?
I understand.
But if you want to weigh them in terms of revenue generated, Airtel generates 8.68 trillion naira in revenue versus MTN's 5.2 trillion naira in revenue. It's not about the strongest network. It's about who sells the most. And then, of course, you also have net income. Airtel, 773 billion naira. MTN, 1.1 trillion naira. So you will see that MTN is much more efficient in turning revenue into profit than Airtel. But because they will now need to share this 1.1 trillion naira into 20.9 billion shares, the per share data drops compared to Airtel. In any case, the revenue stream of MTN is increasing. They are broadening all manner of outlets and openings to making money, from fintechs to now going the live streaming business, just the way you have Netflix. So a whole lot, the entire data market, before now, let me also point out, before now, they're reporting MTN used to make more money on calls, GSM calls. So call revenue was far higher than data revenue. But as we speak, following the last performance, we are seeing a major shift. Data revenue is now much more than call revenue, and it will continue. And because data is almost like oxygen now, if you run out of data, or if you are off network, you know how it feels, as if you are incomplete. That's where MTN is going right now. They've gone ahead also to acquire the company that owns the mast that they rent in Nigeria. Is it in Nigeria? Nigeria, yes. So they now own the masts following the closure of that transaction.
Okay.
So a whole lot of prospects for MTN going forward.
Okay, that's nice. So the second question is this is Nestle, Nestle here, because that one is about 3,000 plus now. So is PZ, would PZ also climb to that range, or can PZ compete to that as well too?
Well, that would be like asking an elementary school boy to go and challenge a senior boy in secondary school. They will punch the hell out of him and drop his 32 on the floor. Too much disparity in power.
Okay.
You can't compare them. First off, revenue, Nestle, 1.2 trillion naira. PZ, 244 billion. Don't even go there. As far as we are concerned, Nestle is the king of the fast-moving consumer goods sector on the NGX. Undisputed. So if you want to compare them now, even inside sector, like I always say, compare sector to sector, but always also shoe get size. You know how we say it in Nigeria, shoe get size. So if you want to compare the peers in that sector, you are looking at the likes of PZ, UACN, Unilever, Cadbury. Okay, compare, but don't bring anyone close to to Nestle. Nestle is in a world of its own.
Okay, because the reason why I ask, because I have this here as well. So I was thinking of selling some and putting the money on PZ. That was what I was asking. That's why I said let me ask, because I wait to be sure before I will take that risk.
Stay calm. Build PZ independently. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
Intelligent engagements. This is what we're about. So we know exactly what we are investing in. Anyone else there ready to talk? Olatunji, are you there?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're streaming from?
Yeah, Olatunji is streaming from Lagos.
Thank you, Tunji, for joining. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for always being there, guiding us through our investment and all. Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity. So, to my question, I've heard about Dangote sugar rights offer that is coming up. I just want to be clear about how I can position myself for it. Is it something that can finish if I don't claim on time? Is it like something like limited offers that will be grabbed by existing holders of the stock? And what should I put in place to be ready to benefit from it?
All right. Dangote Sugar will be doing rights issue, and it's purely for existing shareholders. I'm trying to check to see if I can lay my hands on the official document so that I can be able to tell what the qualification date is. But please understand, rights issue is for existing members or shareholders of the company at a specific ratio to what you already have. Sometimes when they make such announcements, they also let you know whether or not you can still buy and qualify for the rights. So on that note, I will try to check to see if I can find that information here. Okay. I'm not able to quickly pinpoint whether there is, but it's 500 billion naira they want to raise. I've not seen the ratio yet, so we will wait for that information and qualification date. So the way to position yourself and prepare is just have some money standing by, wait to see if you can still buy now and qualify. That's why I was looking for qualification date. And then if you can qualify, you buy from the floor first, then divide the number of shares you have by the ratio they are giving the rights, because they will come out with 1 for 4 or 1 for 5 or 1 for 3 to raise the 500 billion from existing shareholders. So just stay patient and keep your ears on the ground for the news. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Your name and where you're streaming from?
Yeah, my name is Ipomosa. I can call me Kenneth. I'm calling from Benin.
Kenneth from Benin, Ipomosa. Typical Benin name. Thank you for joining. Go ahead.
Yeah, typical, sir. Yes, so I was, thank you so much for what you are doing and what you are doing so far for the community. Really not taking for granted, sir. So I want to confirm if you can hear me clearly, sir.
Loud and clear. Can speak louder though.
Okay. Okay, sir. So I don't know, you don't talk much about market cap when you are analyzing your point. So why I'm talking about this is because I'm from the crypto space kind of things. Of course, market cap matters a lot also. If a coin has run so much. I tell you, I've been talking about MTN and how that is really cheap. And I see that MTN really is at the top of the stock market as terms of the market cap. And you have that at about 115 trillion naira market cap value. So, and I'm like, okay, for MTN to double its price like that, to double market cap too, right?
Yes.
And that helps, in our opinion, though. But of course, if it's coming, it's already coming. I mean, if that money is coming in, so you know, get space has come in already. I'm just saying that it's a lot. So, trying to compare lower market stocks that I can buy. So, my question now actually is, in analyzing the stock market or the stock to buy, where does the market cap come?
Well, first off, we must be reminded the stock market is not crypto.
That's true.
The market judges a stock based on the value created over time, irrespective of whether it becomes something humongous or not. Just in 2024 November, when I stated right here in a live stream like this, the worst days of MTN are over. That was when MTN was selling for 170 naira. While I was saying that, I never would have imagined that MTN would be doing 700 today. But check, 170 naira means the market cap was at whatever price, whatever value it was. Now, how many times is it that price? We'll tell you how many times the market cap rose. For the information of those who may not know, market capitalization is the current stock price multiplied by the total number of shares outstanding. Shares outstanding or outstanding shares is the number of shares existing, barring any rights issue, public offer, and so on, or bonus shares. Whatever is existing times the number of shares. That means every time the stock price increases, the market cap increases. So the market capitalization is the market valuation of a particular company per time. And we saw how the earnings progressed from what we had in 2024. They were coming from a terrible foreign exchange loss in 2024. And just about turning the corner when I saw their third quarter result at the end of 2024. That was also what dragged the price down from 300 and something all the way down to 170. So the same way the market cap can collapse because of poor performance, the market cap can fly because of good performance, irrespective of whether if it doubles, it's something we have never seen before. The point is, are they creating a value that we have never seen before? Yes, they are getting there. And as long as they get there, the market will value them accordingly. It's just like saying, when we were here picking up Bua Cement at 90 naira and 85 naira per share, it was impossible for Bua Cement to double. But where are we today? 1 year, less than 2 years, Bua Cement has done more than twice, meaning their market cap has increased more than twice. So for stocks, why I say it's different from crypto is that the market follows the value creation and then prices a stock. Consistency in dividend payments and increasing the dividend over time, plus profit after tax, profit growth, earnings per share growth, all of those will definitely drive the price of a stock. That's what has seen the market cap of a stock like TIP that was selling for 2 naira and 4 naira last year, 4 naira, 5 naira last year, to 20 naira now. Market cap will increase. So a whole lot goes on behind the scene before the market now reacts. So what goes on behind the scene is what we try to look for to take position in these stocks. The same can be said for Presco. We were buying it at 450 naira. Up till last year, Presco was at 700, but we saw before our very eyes, it shot up to 2,300, then came down to 17, and it's now gone back to 19, trying to re-establish that 2,000 plus range. But your point is very clear as well. Not easy for a stock selling so high to double, but as long as they keep creating value, the sky is the limit. That was the case for Nestle. It stagnated at 750 naira for many years. Then boom, 900, 1,000, 2,000, today 3,000 in a very short space of time. So value is created, market cap must obey. Thank you. Okay.
Sorry, sir. I was able to get in a bit on Presco when it fell after 1 case. But I think going massively as I want to. So I still saw that, okay, that another alternative would have been. So when I got something I was expecting before. So I was expecting like 2 million naira at first, okay. Since Presco has rallied back to 2,000, let me do since Okumo was still low. See at is see a bit lower than his current all-time high. So I thought that was a good choice. That's one. Then also I was seeing that USCN has dipped a bit. I don't know if it's a good time to enter too.
Yes, I think if you're going long term, USCN has dipped for another fresh entrance to take position. USCN will keep climbing and stay above 100. For those who know the value in that company. So it's a good mode. Even the Okomo movement is good because it's always going to play sympathy play with Presco. Every time Presco jumps, Okomo follows. And usually when Okomo gets out, Presco gets out of hand, everyone turns to Okomo. But that is not to say Okomo doesn't create value. They create fantastic value as well. It's just that Presco is a new generation establishment and is really now riding on that to create much more value faster. Otherwise, it used to be in the shadows of Okomo because Presco is not as old as Okomo. Thank you very much. Okay, for that long discussions we have had, let's go back to your comments and see what we can respond to, because we're not only here to take calls. Your comments still very much valid as we progress. Good afternoon, talk about NB. Okay, I mentioned that. Good afternoon, talk. Oh, okay. Great Investors is free. Kindly hit the like button. Thank you very much. Parkwell. Miss Somi, what can I buy with 600K for both growth and dividends? If you are thinking dividends now, you have to go with UBA right now. Right now, put the whole 600,000 in UBA, please. Well, DS Sharon says, Coach, please, what stock or stocks can I invest with 500K? I'm looking for growth and dividends. Are you the same person on YouTube just now? Exactly what I just said. UBA looks interesting. 47 naira plus to pay you dividend twice a year has headroom for more growth. Does anyone know Down Sugar Rights issue will open? JAs, no date yet. Stay calm. We will get the update. Hello, Coach. I have 5 million to top up on 2 of these. Aradel, Jais, USCN, Zenith, NIDF, Down Sugar. 5 million to top up. USCN is looking okay to top up now, depending on the price you got in. And Down Sugar at the moment. Those two are best. All right. We go ahead to take more calls as we progress today. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Coach. How are you doing today?
Excellent. And you?
I'm good, thank you. My name is Jenny. I'm calling from Lagos, Nigeria.
Jenny from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for all you're doing for us. God bless you. God protect you and your family.
Amen. Amen.
Okay.
Thank you.
My question, Coach. You know this your 1 million challenge that you introduced to us for the NGS.
Exactly.
Can we please get for the US so that we'll be using 2 hands to chop? US stock, which coin, sorry, I say coin, which stock can we do for 1 million challenge kind of something? So I don't know if you've mentioned this before, but please, if you have not, help us to consider it so that we'll be eating with two hands like I said before.
Okay. Actually, it looks like Jenny just exposed herself that she does crypto as well, because she was going to say coin before she corrected herself to say stock.
Yeah, correct.
All right. Actually, I was telling myself it's time to get back in to the US market. Let me explain to us all here. When the whole world is afraid, is when money is made. It's called wealth transfer season. And we've seen the US market now collapse to an extent. It's not calamitous yet. It's not that bad yet. But I just recalled over this long holiday season that what happened in 2020 is repeating itself, and we are just quietly watching, waiting till the market rebounds before we start going to buy stocks. COVID came, everything collapsed, everybody was running. It's not that bad yet, I repeat, but it just reminded me of the kind of opportunity that came that time. And I think it's time to start revisiting, the US market little by little. Now, because there is no immediate end in sight, because that's the way these things plays out. It doesn't tell you when it will dip. It doesn't tell you when it will stop dipping and start rising. The best approach is start picking valuable stocks little by little. And so just yesterday, I went in and took a little of Duolingo. It's not a penny stock yet. I'm coming to your question now. Duolingo has great fundamentals. Earnings per share $9. Earnings per share compounded growth jumped 199% over 3 years. Revenue grew 41% annually. What's making that noise there?
You should mute us, sir.
Don't worry. I've let him go.
Thank you, sir.
And then there is a much faster per share profit gains than top line expansion. Duolingo, ticker symbol DUOL. So I bought some and I'm waiting to see. Share price performance is the ones that will scare people. 1 year performance down 69%. Year to date, it has lost 44% this year. 6 months, 66%. In fact, 1 month, it has lost 12%. Even that yesterday I bought, it lost 2%. So I bought into Dual, $97 per share. This is a procedure I want to follow to start picking the best stocks until the market rises. Once the market recovers, you are in good money. For now, it is dangerous to play pennies. I repeat, when the market is down, do not do penny stocks. It is time to actually buy the best companies at the lowest prices. I was going to post something, I think I posted it somewhere. The Mag 7 have lost year to date, all of them. No one is in profit. Great sign to look for the best possible ones to start collecting little by little. When we see a recovery of the market, as our major stocks that we have bought in at discount starts rising, then we go back to look for those pennies. In any case, we can still find pennies and take position in for the long term, just like the 1 million share challenge. But I would need to do some work on that before coming up with what looks good to buy. Is that okay?
Very okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Intelligent people are all over this place. So we want to eat naira and dollar from two places. as she said. It's all right. Nice idea there. A lot of times, some of these pennies can just turn something else and make you a whole lot of bucks. Okay? Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're streaming from?
Tyrus from Lagos.
Go ahead.
Sir, I need your advice concerning my portfolio. I feel like I have over diversified, so if you don't mind, right now I have 15 stocks with current value of 8.73 million. So I'm looking to at least cut it down to 10. So I don't know if you mind me listing out the stocks and then
We can't do that on a live stream. That's why we do it in the Discord group.
Okay.
Yes, so that a lot of things are involved apart from time. A careful look at it, physically written down instead of just mentioning, and then time factor as well. So let's make use of the group for portfolio rebalancing. Thank you very much for your understanding.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Are we on to Pastor AY?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, Eloho. Tell us where you're streaming from.
I'm streaming from Warren, Delta State.
Thank you very much, Eloho. She sounds very excited, and that's the mood we want to have here. Go ahead, tell us.
I'm very, very excited.
Hmm.
Then first of all, I want to thank you, Coach, for all you do. I'm quite new in the stock markets.
Okay.
I have 400,000 to deploy. I'm not sure which stock to put it.
What stocks do you already have?
I have UBA. Then I also have a fertilizer. I'll be building it small for the 1 million challenge.
Small. That's right. How many UBA do you have right now?
I have about, I started with bamboo. Then when I listened to your live, I went to go and open the Atlas portfolio. So right now, I'm not so sure, but I know I have about 4,000 on my bamboo.
Go ahead and buy more UBA.
I was a bit scared because of the weight I've been galloping.
Enjoy that galloping because you will soon celebrate it.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. You know, when she buys UBA, she will later realize she has built that stock up, both the one in bamboo and anywhere else she's buying, and qualified for more dividend cash flow. Wonderful. And then when it starts galloping upwards, in her own words, when that galloping, because she sounded like the galloping she mentioned is downwards. When it gallops upwards, then she'll be the better for it because each 1 naira gain amounts to something much more substantial. This is why we advise do not overspread. I've seen people buy stocks in bits and pieces, and that's because of the copy and paste mentality on the internet. I bought this stock 500 naira, I bought this one 1,000 naira. So and so company you can buy at less than 500 naira, and people go and buy 50 shares, 100 shares, 1,000 shares, 200 shares, 3,000 shares. You are joking. Because you will end up scattering your money everywhere, and even when one of the stocks you own is making 400%, the total profit you make from a 400% move is 25,000. So please stop frustrating the money that you have gathered. Concentrate and hammer on one stock and grow it. Flora Tambari says, Coach, I have sent you a message after the live stream last week, but you haven't responded. Flora, I'm so sorry about that. I am heavily choked So please resend. This time I'll try my best. Okay. Please, I need help with Atlas portfolios. Louis eBay at yahoo.com. Atlas, for a moment now, we've not been able to take Atlas on. And okay, can't even see them on the queue because, of course, we forgot about them for a moment. Coach, please mention names when you pick the course so we can know. All right, Sage Realty, I will. So cocktails by something. I can't see the rest of the name. Trying to reach you now.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name and where you're streaming from.
My name is Larry. I'm streaming from UK.
Larry from UK.
Sure.
Thank you for joining.
I'm actually grateful and it's an opportunity to come across you on the social internet because I've been following you for quite a number of time.
Wow.
I don't get me. I just follow, they learn. I've joined the Discord group and I've been learning. Now I'm ready to go into it.
Okay.
I've created the Atlas portfolio, which because you said I watched your video online and you said okay, it's one of a good portfolio. So now my question is, as a new beginner that is new, this is my first time, I've never done anything in stock. I know you mentioned jam and tip. So as a new beginner, I've not done anything before. What stock will you advise me to go into?
First stock to take position in is a stock like TIP. It's a value stock that is finding its way into the growth stage. And it means much more security for you first. Why do we need you to buy the ones that are a bit more expensive, depending on how much you have though? But most importantly, as a beginner, you don't want to be introduced so harshly into the rough and tumble of the stock market. So we keep you safe first. Then you can start toying with pennies. So it's not advisable to just go all in on pennies alone. You want to protect your portfolio with something much more stronger that has built capacity. Then you now veer into pennies from little by little. So tip first.
Okay. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
And you too. Learning is very important. Sometimes God does not even allow you to get exposed to what you do not have knowledge of, so you don't go and burn your fingers. But once you finish learning, then opportunities and the money will start flowing for you to do the magic. All right. Sage Realty. Next caller. A very good afternoon to you. Tell us your name. Oh my God. My day is also made too. Wow.
Okay, good. I've been trying to reach you for how many weeks now?
Oh
Even
my.
on Instagram on call.
Really? Sorry about that.
It's fine, Coach. So actually, the person that reached out to you on Instagram, that was last month. I told you I had property to sell that's worth like 30 million.
Okay.
And my portfolio is 10 million plus.
Okay.
Like 30 million. So he said I should sell it and I should let you know that we need to grow the portfolio. We need to grow that portfolio aggressively. Like, you want me to retire at the age of 40.
Come on now.
Since then I've been trying to reach you so that you will guide me properly. Then last week you made mention that you're going to employ more hands to handle your Instagram. And I didn't know how to go about it. I've been messaging you since then so that you can talk to me before you employ the hands. Because no one will be like you, no matter how good the person. Only the words of encouragement felt like I was talking to you one-on-one. So that was why I will chat me up and basically giving me good vibes. So I don't know. I don't think that means I'm good. I should send a message on Instagram. I know. But I know there's tons of persons there. So I don't know what to do. Because I'm sure I won't be able to reach you.
Repeatedly send that message, because you also, we are careful with the privacy of people, so that there are still stalkers all over the place. Let's not forget that everyone's privacy needs to be respected, and so it's not something you can mention here, right?
Yeah.
So just repeatedly drop the messages, but don't worry about. I get to be informed. The ones I need to respond to, I get to be informed, so I can still.
Because I dropped the message. I'll keep messaging you. So on Monday, I think, or on Monday, yes, you replied. That was the one I sent since 2 weeks ago. I was just dropped that reply. You said I should have a nice day or something. I tried to get your attention to remind you of our previous conversation. I put it up. Did not get to open that one again too.
Don't worry. Just do as I've said. Resend. Just keep resending. I'm not running away from the Instagram page. I will still be reaching it and responding. Of course, things that needs my direct attention, they always forward to me to respond.
Okay, Coach, no problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Testify next week, like that lady that testified that she used the
Kaka. Don't worry. We will hear your testimony. Remember, this is a global live stream. People are connected from across the globe. So never mind, we are itching to hear your own testimonials. Okay?
Okay, Coach. Thank you.
All right. Sure, we say thank me later. What is he advising? It says buy NIDF with 10 million and between 126. Invest a dividend of approximately 20 per annum for. Hello. Good afternoon. Okay, we'll just let him go. Guess it's in a noisy place. Hi, Coach. I have 1 million lying in the bank account, and I'm hoping either to buy Zenith or invest in Cardinal Stone Equity Fund. Stylish Shaisha says, please advise. Thanks, Chris Coach. Zenith. You can actually buy the Zenith pullback. I think Zenith. Let me see again. Zenith. Okay. I would have just said go for PZ. Now that Zenith is over 100, go for PZ to grow that money fast, or even Ikeja Hotel. Ladies and gentlemen, Ikeja Hotel, something I was going to tell you about. Anytime you see it around 37 and under, it's a good buy. Hello, good afternoon, Soji. Very well, thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. I'm actually calling from Canada. I've been looking for this opportunity to actually talk to you. Here's my situation. I am very skeptical about stocks. So ever since I started listening to you, this has actually changed my perception about how I do stocks. And I've actually invested in so many of things, which I've actually lost. Last year I lost from $5,000. This year I'm losing another $10,000. Things that I believe in somewhere, and based on what they told me, I came to. But now I want to start investing in the Nigerian stock. And I started this week. I started with around 16 million. I bought BPA, about 100,000 units of BPA. I bought Arabel, around 8,000 units, and I also bought PZ and motion benefits around 50,000. I need guidance because I don't want to make mistakes anymore. That's my situation, Coach.
You have bought well, if you ask me. The deployment of funds, quality of stocks picked, the spread is excellent. Whatever guidance, whatever else you need in the form of guidance could just be maybe a 1 hour quick strategy session, and that will do. Because from what I see, you are doing well. Being your first time. Would that be all? Okay, send me.
Whatever returns I get from it, I take risk with it. I won't be so worried. That's my perception. But you actually change my perception. The last week we're talking about what will someone be doing. Well, how will you going to keep your money in control of that? Okay? So I have a different perception right now. Because to be honest, I'm a very conservative. I'm very conservative, and I know to manage money. My problem is investment. That's where I'm lacking.
I think we will really have a deep dive, and I'll break it down even more for you. Just send a DM on Instagram, please. Instagram, and let's schedule you. Yes, just please, every time, maybe 24 hours after, no response, just redo, please. Someone, just help me, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Oh, so sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very heartbreaking to hear how people lose money in their attempt to build money, and I just feel very bad when I hear of these losses. $45,000 before the other $10,000. But you know what? By the time you find a place where you start seeing it work, and you have found your place, you will soon forget those losses. That's what tenacity does. When you persist until you now find a solution, forget it. It will be a waste of time to put your money in treasury bills. Even those mutual funds that you put the money in for safety, it is still assets like stocks they put the money in, especially equity funds. Anything called equity funds is strictly stocks alone. That's why, check it. For those of you who do funds, mutual funds, money market fund, every fund, equity fund is the top performer, because the stock market is the engine where you can exponentially grow your money. Now, the reason why he needs a one-on-one is because we also need to check what his age is. Investment, I've seen that a lot of people detach your age from your investment. No, there's a correlation between the asset classes you invest in versus what age you are now. And then you grow from here to the safe havens where the money now treks and not even make any serious gains. But what you have built up as capital can now make that trekking in fixed assets to be very worth the while. At that point, zero risk. But first, grow it with the stock market. That's what we're doing. We're trying to use the wealth engine of the stock market to exponentially grow. Then, as we go towards retirement, we look for bonds, very high yield, and put the money there to keep bringing out something. Just like he said, he wants treasury bills returns to now put in stocks. That's the reverse approach. Depends on his age. If he's a retiree, that means he has had some substantial payout from his job that can do that. But if he's not, use the stock market. Ladies and gents, I am in your life so you can walk away from any situation you don't like. And I mean it. From an abusive work environment, they are insulting you, landlord is maltreating you, embarrassing your husband in your presence or embarrassing you in the presence of your family and your wife, you can walk out of that if you build wealth. You can relocate from where you are if there is racism and go somewhere else because the earth belongs to all of us. Okay? It's your money they are looking for. And if you have sufficient money to sustain yourself, they are happy to have you. There are so many locations around the world, including your own Nigeria. You can come to Lekki, buy the biggest places, and enjoy your life. Okay? Ladies and gents, we have 4 minutes. We can't just go. Who else is on the line as we round off today's fantastic live stream? Good afternoon, Coach. Please, what's your take on Wando? Well, Wando is there for the news. Every time there's one news or the other that favors it, it jumps up and down. I do not intend to play that kind of game when I'm seeing gems to invest in. Coach, please, does Atlas Portfolio has page on X? Because I can't find it. I have no knowledge whether or not Atlas is on X. Okay, Joshua Akonde says, how can I join the Discord group? Send me a DM on Instagram. Ago Ali says, you are very correct, Coach. God sent you to liberate us from poverty. Oh yes, I'm happy to execute that assignment if that's what I'm called to do. Hi, Coach, I'm new and I have 300K. Please, which stock can you advise me to buy? I now have account with Bamboo and created profile with NGX. Bolanle, you can just go ahead, 300K, buy yourself tip and go to bed. Okay? Hello, good afternoon, Crystal.
Hi, Coach. Good afternoon, sir.
Where are you streaming from and your question?
My name is Ferdinand. I'm calling from the UK.
Ferdinand from the UK, we are glad to have you. Go ahead.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much. God bless you for all that you have done for us. God bless you, sir.
God bless you too.
So we are your disciples. We are helping people all over the world. So there was a time I told you about my sister who invested in a third party. So you guided me on how she can recover all her dividend.
Tell me.
She followed through, and I said one time that she started receiving a lot left, right, center.
Wow.
So she reached out to one of her friends like that. The same thing happened to the woman. She waited for a long time. She has even lost hope that she's not going to get anything.
You see?
My sister now called me and I advised my sister what to tell her. The same thing, the woman is getting a lot every time. The woman is just shouting every time. The woman is happy, praising God. So that my sister, she called me a few days ago because she's not in the country, in Nigeria, US. So she said that she wanted to invest 4 million. She's retired. So I just want to ask, what stock do you think I can buy for her? Because anything I tell her, she take it too clear and simple. So I don't want to make mistake and using my own knowledge I've learned from you. So I just want to hear from the boss directly. So what stock do you think 4 million can get for her? She's retired. She's enjoying herself in the US, but she just wants to invest something in case anytime she comes back to Nigeria. Though she has little investment she has made already. But I really advise her to invest in this stock. So she don't 4 million for now. I said I should get stock for you. So I said, let me go back to my roots.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. You see, through you, 2 unclaimed dividends have poured in back into the rightful owner's accounts. That's what we're here for. I'm really excited about that. Now we go on to where she can invest. Retirees, they need some dividend cash flow as well. If not that Aradel has jumped, they pay dividend twice. I would say outside that, UBA still looks very attractive. I repeat, UBA at 47, excellent. Twice dividend flow as well. And I think the whole money should go into UBA.
Okay, coach.
Because
I was thinking in the line of UBA also and the NIDF, but I know that as you used to tell us that NIDF is no longer appreciated in terms of capital appreciation, but dividend are 4 times in a year. I was thinking in the line of NIDF and UBA. I said, let me just hear from you.
Actually, that was the first one that came to mind, but I was restricted by myself due to that lack of progressive capital gains. Yes. So let's go in for UBA. You can come back to NIDF any other time, but you see this UBA, she has a chance for the money to grow beyond 4 million and still enjoy at least twice dividend. She doesn't need the dividend to survive, so she doesn't need that frequency that NIDF does. She rather would always be happier if it's growing. So that's the best place to go. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, alerts flooding in like water because someone decided to be of help. Please be of help to every other person as we continue to keep sharing, keep liking, and keep all the on-screen actions going. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of today's live stream. Thank you so much for joining. Without you, it would have been impossible. I appreciate you all. And please remember, we'll be here again on Friday, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Nigerian time, to continue to do justice. My apologies to everyone whose calls I couldn't take or comments I couldn't meet up to take, but then let's do it again on Friday. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.